adorable.
Ruth, you said
I'm done. I am done. Nicole, you do it. No. I'm done. BVB Army, welcome back to our channel, BVB Army Hearts to Hearts. My name is Ruth.
And I'm Nicole.
And we have an amazing special guest here for us today in this special episode. BVB Army, you guys have probably seen her. You probably know her. Some of you have luckily met her. Please, this is our wonderful friend, Anna. So,
hi.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I mean, honestly, if there's anything for any episode, it has to be this episode for you to be on. So,
yeah.
Again, we are super excited to have you here and just to hear everything that you know, possibly that we may not know, honestly. So,
I'm sure all the knowledge from you.
All the knowledge. We'll just be here dissecting your brain. So,
that's fine. Someone needs to do it.
As you can tell, BVB Army who are watching this video and probably listening to this video, we just got done with Lonnie's Eagleton's birthday episode. Thank you guys for watching that. Now we have Jinx's birthday episode. Woo! And fun fact, we're actually filming this on his birthday. Yes, this video is uploaded on a Wednesday, so happy belated birthday, Jinxx. But we're technically filming on your birthday, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jinxx.
But we are super excited. And again, we have Anna here because she probably knows a lot of information of Jinxx here. So we're super excited, again, to know the knowledge that she has.
And I must say, Anna, I honestly had no clue who you were until Ruth had actually informed me about you, and just everything that she has shared with me, I've been so excited to meet you. So I'm finally glad that we have this moment to pick your brain.
I've been excited to meet you too. I've seen your makeup looks and everything, which are incredible. I could never. Yeah, it's good to meet you.
Take it. Your makeup looks are amazing. Yes.
I don't know how to receive compliments. I think it's so weird because I'm thanks. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm awkward.
We all are. Anxiety. Hello.
Yeah.
I think it's a special moment just because, for you and I, Anna, we've been talking online from a lot, and this is our actual first time meeting virtually, so it's pretty amazing. Obviously, Nicole's too. So, I think it's going to be an awesome episode and a special moment for all of us. So
hopefully he'll like it.
And again, I want to state before we get into it, Jinxx, we apologize if we get anything incorrect. We apologize.
You can put me on blast. I'll take the hit.
It was Anna's fault. She didn't correct us, Anna.
I'll take that responsibility.
The notes that we found, we just kind of went all over the internet. So yeah, please correct us if anything is wrong.
Let us dive into, we've been doing with all these birthday episodes with the guys, with Jinxx. As the BVB Army, I already have known and celebrated today on January 7th, if I get the year right, 1981?
Yes.
Yeah! He was born! That makes him...
According to Wikipedia, 37.
Yeah, so it makes him wow. We were talking about this, now I'm saying 30. It makes him 42, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. He's now 42. Again, has not aged.
Yeah, he does not look a day over.
Nope.
30,
nope.
literally.
Nope. He is almost a New Year's baby, same as Lonnie in a way, almost.
And Alice too. Alice is on the 2nd.
Okay, hello. Did not know that. That's amazing. Well, speaking of which, yes, Jinxx is married. Hello. Yes, I think all BVB Army knows that he is married to Alice, which I didn't not know her birthday. Wow, okay. Wonderful Jinxx was born, and his actual full name, I'm going to try my best to pronounce this correctly. Oh God, Anna, I can see she's like, okay, ready, go for it, Ruth. Is Jeremy Miles Ferguson?
Yep.
Got it.
Say it with confidence. You did it right.
I'm a teacher. You would think I would know how to pronounce names. No, I don't. So
no.
Killing backtrack when it comes to Jinxx, I could not find a lot of information about his childhood. I mean, obviously, I looked on his own website that he had, and also wonderful Wikipedia. But I did read that he got his first guitar around 2 years old, and he started playing his first live shows with his dad in local areas around the age of 8. That's what I read.
So he'd play in like local bars and whatnot, which probably would not happen today. Maybe in Iowa. I don't know. Yeah, so he would play like bar gigs with his dad and his family. I think his brother was in on that too. His brother played the drums.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they do that. And then he just kind of like, the way they said it to me was like, had a guitar before he was out of a crib.
Oh,
that's adorable.
There's like this little like pink plastic guitar that they gave him. I think he put a picture of it somewhere at some point.
Like a little toy pink plastic one, and then
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Instead of a teddy bear, there's a pink plastic guitar. Did you find anything else about him growing up, Nicole?
I did. I did not find this on Wikipedia because I'll admit I never go on there. So if this is wrong, please, like, you can just cut me off, let me stop. Don't let me further prolong.
X.
Yeah, just be like, Nicole, what are you doing? Stop. I did. So in my notes here, I did also read that he not necessarily had like a hard life growing up, but I heard he had like a rough time in school. Like for him wanting to play the violin, a lot of kids like poked and made fun of him, claiming that violin was for girls and not boys. I guess that like after school he would avoid a lot of the kids because I guess they like threw stones at him and everything. Suppose that's what I read. I don't know how true that is, but I heard that the musical side of him like really thrived during his teenage years, and he taught himself how to play Beethoven's Moonlight
Moonlight Sonata.
Thank you. Yes. He also learned how to play like piano and cello.
Yes. He played in the orchestra in, I know, at least high school. I'm sure he did before that too. Yeah, he'd like walk to and from school each day, and he'd have his violin case with him. And so, yeah, it was exactly that. The quote I remember is something like, they'd say like, "Oh, that's dumb. Violin is for chicks." So, you know, he went on to play it better than the rest of them.
And he's a rock star.
Yeah.
Just saying that.
Super talented family.
Yeah, that's what I read. Like his whole family just loves music. Like they're all talented, and when it comes to music.
So he got his first violin at 7, I think. It was either 6 or 7. So he was like taking lessons and everything. And his grandfather said, "Hey, if you get good enough, I'll give you my violin." Because that was who inspired him to want to play. So, you know, he really worked towards that. And then when he made it into the Des Moines Youth Symphony, his grandfather like held up his promise and like gifted him his violin. And he still plays that one like on like recording on albums to this day.
Holy cow.
And then bonus points, Grant gave him his violin. His stepdad that passed away a couple years ago also gave him his violin, and he played that, I believe, on Savior 2.
Oh my gosh.
I'm Wikipedia right here in person, because I was literally going to ask if she knew what made Jinxx want to play the violin. Gave us the answer, and that whole story is heartwarming. Before Jinxx joined Black Veil Brides, obviously he was in other bands before the whole Black Veil Brides thing was a thing. What I read, it was like the Dreaming and Amen.
Dreaming, Amen. And then I actually just saw a post today that was a good refresher from one of his friends. I think he was part of the Rejects.
Oh.
He had 80 Proof Riot with Jake, and then I think they pulled Cece in on that beforehand.
Yeah, that's what I remember reading in Andy's book. Like Jake and Jinxx and Cece kind of all knew each other. So when Black Veil Brides was forming, Andy was looking for members. They obviously when Sandra left and Bruno and stuff, they were like, "What about Jinxx? He's awesome. He's cool. He's very talented."
Yeah, and then when they brought Jinxx in, he was like, "Okay, but like you got to hear me out on this guy, Jake."
Yeah. That's what I remember reading. I mean, that's kind of cool. Like all like Jinxx and Jake kind of knew each other already, and like they're now able to be part of this band of BVB and stuff, create music together. So I think that's really awesome that happened. So
I feel like that was meant to be. And I do have to say though, my husband, when we were in high school, he found Jinxx's band, The Dreaming. And because when I actually got my husband into Black Veil Brides, and I remember he was like, "Jinxx," he's like, "He looks familiar." And Hudson actually showed me The Dreaming, and there is this song on there. If you guys have not heard The Dreaming, you should check out Puppet. It's actually pretty good. It's really good.
I did read about a lot of its influence. Obviously, I mean, when it comes to music, there's a lot of influence. Beethoven was one, Bach was one, Metallica, Danny Elfman. I don't know if this is out there yet, if it's okay to say, but you did mention to me the Beatles, very big impactfulness.
Well, I mean, he named his kid Lennon.
Yep, so there you go. I mean, the Beatles are timeless, so I mean, like, hey.
Yeah. And then another big one is Randy Rhoads was like one of his biggest guitar influences. So that was someone that he's always looked up to.
I did also read that like the very first albums he owned was the fourth Metallica album and Justice for All.
Yep, that was the first one he learned to play cover to cover.
I was about to say he literally taught himself the entire albums. I was like, talented.
I can listen to that album and be like, no, you can't do it.
Instruments are so hard. I don't have patience. So
I don't have patience either. For the fact that he's this talented to play guitar and bass and violin, what else? What other instruments does he play? Piano? Is piano one?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, piano. Okay.
Lost it all. Ruth lost it all.
Just
Coffin. Wow. I just had a biggest brain. Ignore me. I'm ashamed.
I know he plays violin, cello, guitar, bass. I think his brother might have taught him a little bit of drums. If he can play guitar, he can probably play viola or violin. He can probably play viola because it's a one-string difference. I figured it out. If I can figure it out, he definitely can. Piano and harpsichord. I know his mom wanted him to learn like some wind instruments.
Oh, okay.
Like when he was picking violin, she was like, oh, hey, but like, look at all these options too. Not to like talk him out of it, but yeah, you have so many options.
Right.
Said like trumpet was in there. I don't know if that's something he actually learned or just like kind of like tried it out.
I'm actually curious now if there is an instrument out there that Jinxx like is curious or just wants to try out for the very first time, or is there? Do you know it?
I know he mentioned something. I just don't remember what it was. It was something very unique. There's a lot.
I mean, didn't you? Well, I forgot your exact words, Nicole, but when we did the Lonnie episodes, like him and Jinxx, you put them together, own orchestra in their own way.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
And like he said to me once, like, oh no, I'm really not that great on the cello. I need to brush up on that. And I'm like, dude, you had other artists, like Dianthus, for example, like pulled him on just for cello on one song. And he was like, oh, but that was an easy part. Like, I just did it.
I feel like, okay, it's not just him, but even like Lonnie too, they're too humble. It's like, oh, I need to brush up. Oh, it's been too ever. Here they are mastering it. We're like, shut up.
It's that Midwest and that Canadian, like, it's the Midwest and Canadian nice.
I also found out he has a major in graphic design. I don't know how true that is, but
he hasn't ever mentioned it to me. I would believe it based off like some stuff that I've seen him do.
I mean, if it is true, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, I'm not surprised, honestly. Sorry. If it is true, I'm not surprised if that is. I mean, it's kind of cool though. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and like, I know like there's that picture out there that he's like holding up a piece of paper with like the band that like drawn, and it was like kind of you know what I'm talking about? Not like stick figure, but like it was just like silhouette.
I can't recall that.
I know. It's one of those things. I've seen like so many photos of all the members that they all start to like blend together after a while.
If you have that photo, send it over to refresh your memory.
Drop it in.
Yeah. Well, like here's a photo. Here it is. So I can't recall it, but I'm probably sure if I was going to look it up or see it again, I'm like, oh, that is it. So
I know we're recapping here, but Jinxx married to beautiful Alice. Is it Alice Mogg? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she hyped when they got married.
Oh, but I like that. I think a lot of people actually, I feel like, starting to do that lately.
Honestly, between the two of them, I don't know what they can't do, because like she's an actress. She is a singer, dancer. She's like a yoga instructor, I think.
So
like,
a quadruple, triple threat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool.
Essentially, Lennon's going to be able to do literally everything.
Oh, he's gonna grow up to be one talented child. I swear, he's gonna be.
Lennon is an adorable baby. How old is he right now?
He just turned 2 in October.
Oh,
no, Lennon is definitely adorable. I love when Jinxx post it on his stories, and I swear it's like that is if that's Jinx's baby, you can automatically tell.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, I'm like, I draw faces a lot, so I can definitely tell when it comes to Lennon has Jinx's like jawline, I want to say. Yeah, his jawline. So
I agree with you full-heartedly on that. I was noticing that when I saw like the few pictures that like Jinxx and Alice post. I'm like, oh, it's a little mini Jinxx. How cute.
I think I realized, like, I know like they'd been thinking about having kids and just like hadn't made the decision, but like even years ago I was like, oh, this guy is meant to be a parent, because he started throwing dad jokes at me. Like just out of the blue. I don't remember what it was, but we were talking and then he goes, some nerdy topic, and he goes, oh, hey, well, why was Pavlov's hair so soft? And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know. And he goes, because he conditioned it, which is yeah, that.
Jinxx, you were meant to be a dad. Clearly, you are doing such a wonderful dad figure for your son. Obviously, the BVB Army sees that when you do post on your Instagram stories and share photos and videos of your adorable baby and just your family in general. And I think it's adorable. Honestly, we love it. I'm sure the dad jokes have gotten cheesier over time.
Oh yeah, my friend so kindly gave him a full book of them.
Cheesier and cringier. So Jinxx, if I ever get a chance to meet you again, I would love to hear a dad joke. So I'm really wanting to dive into this part when it comes to Jinxx, and that's how one thing I bonded over you, Anna, is his epilepsy story. For those of us in the Army who does not know much about Jinxx, or who are roughly new to the Army and BVB, Jinxx is epileptic. He has epilepsy. So that's one kind of fascinating thing that he announced. I want to, the article, when the website where he said his story was, I think it was in the year 2021. Is that correct? Or was it
he started publicly talking about it, I think like December 2019.
Okay.
That's how he and I became friends too.
Yeah, I guess when the article published, I think it was said 2021. So that's when the very first time I was just like, he has epilepsy, which blew my mind, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I know there was a couple of videos going around that Jinxx and BVB had to cancel a tour or show or something because Jinxx had a seizure. And it wasn't really announced of the seizures or epilepsy yet. And I know Andy was talking about like, oh yeah, we had to cancel the show because our awesome friend Jinxx had a medical condition happen, but they just said medical condition. And so here I was thinking like, is he okay? Why aren't they saying what it was? Was it like a heart attack? What was it? And then epilepsy. And I'm like, oh, that makes more sense.
It was on a tour in 2015. You know, they were all over the place. And when they were in Chile, he went down and they basically just said like, yeah, he's all good. He was just dehydrated and really tired.
Yeah.
They just kind of were like, hey, for your privacy, we're not going to say anything. And dehydration and exhaustion, I fully believe.
Nicole, I was curious if you got a chance to read his epilepsy story on that website that was.
It was on Epsy.
Epsy, thank you.
Yeah. No, so to be honest, I didn't even know that he had epilepsy until Ruth actually had informed me of it. I never actually got the chance to like read his story or anything, but one thing that I did happen to find and read, which if it is true, I think it's absolutely beautiful of him. I did read that after he had made the announcement and told his story, that ever since then he has started up a funding program where he gathers a bunch of funds through like Black Veil Brides memorabilia, and he donates all that money to the Epilepsy Foundation.
Yeah, so he did a couple of fundraisers. He would like put items up for like auction.
Yeah.
And then some of the proceeds from that, I don't remember if it was some or all, went to the Epilepsy Foundation, and that was how he like made the announcement.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him beforehand, I was like, you have to warn me when you say something publicly about this because I will cry. Which did not happen. And so I did cry. He had told me about it about 2 years before, I think, because before a show, like I do like birthday projects for him.
I recall seeing it.
I've done it for like 8 years or something, but in the front, on the front page of the one I did in 2018, I got to give it to him in person. And so I just wrote a little thing that was like, also, I just want to say thank you for like that you guys like don't use a lot of strobes and like heavily flashing lights, because that can be
triggers
and like, I don't know what's going on yet, but it's a struggle. And so we like went and said hi to his mom after the show, and she was like, hey, come with me. So we're like, oh, are we gonna like actually get to go say hi or something? And they so Jinxx gets outside, and keep in mind it's January in Kansas City. It's cold as hell. So he comes outside, and like the door closes behind him, and he goes, it's way too fucking cold out here. Let's go back to the bus. And at that point, like my brother and my friend and I are just like, I don't know what's going on, but I think let's go with it. And so he like we're all talking, and he was like, hey, I saw that you wrote this, and like I totally understand. And that was when he told me. And so over that year we became good friends. Honestly, so thankful for him. He actually like managed to help me figure out something about an episode that he witnessed that I then took to my neurologist that helped me get the right diagnosis. And like a lot of the stuff that I learned about like taking care of myself with it was from him. Like I didn't even know I had to take my meds at the same time every day.
Reading his epilepsy story, I mean, for me, when it first came out, I can't remember. I think most likely he posted it on his Instagram story about like the link to click it. And so I was just like, when I saw epilepsy, I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Because I have epilepsy too. So I clicked it, and I read the whole thing. And after I got to the end, I was just like, and I was kind of mixed emotions. Like I was shocked. I was just like surprised, but it was very heartwarming all at the same time, because here I am thinking like, at least for me, I haven't met many people who have epilepsy. So to see Jinxx from the band that I admire and been a fan of, who has the same issues that I dealt with when I was in the 5th grade with all the med changes and stuff, I was just amazed. And like his words were beautiful to read. And then what he opened up about dealing with it and the med changes. Jinxx, I'm sorry Keppra made it worse for you. I am very sorry. Keppra works for me. My horse pills work, but I'm sorry it didn't work for you. I'm sorry about that. But the story was very heartwarming and very inspiring. And thank you, Jinxx, just for sharing that, because I know for me at least, who had dealt with epilepsy at a young age and not knowing what it was, and like people treating me differently because of it, is like, she's fragile, she's fragile, she's fragile. It just made me happy, because it tells other fans and other people who have epilepsy, like, you're not alone, you're not weird, you just think differently, your brain, your cells, everything is just built in a different way, and that's okay. So yeah,
it makes you feel seen. And
yeah, it does. Yeah, I was just like, I love you more, Jinxx. Epilepsy, let's do this together. So
yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that all of you guys found the one that works for you.
Yeah, it took me 4 to get there, I think.
But at least you're there. And also Jinxx is also there with his medication that, well, yeah, you're still working on
doing
it.
better.
It's getting better. Yes, it's getting better, that, it's getting to a point where it's well under control. Like, I mean, in a way, I mean, I was young when it happened to me, when it was just trying to figure it out. And obviously with the result of having a couple of seizures along the way, which are not fun, they're terrifying. And Jinxx, the fact that, oh my god, because I did read in the article, like, he had his first seizure as an infant, but he wasn't officially diagnosed with epilepsy. Yeah, and it was also like told that his father told him, like, epilepsy runs in our family, you have to take this seriously and stuff. He was a bit stubborn about it, like not taking his meds and just kind of going with life. And then obviously that resulted in seizures, especially during touring and stuff. And I can't even imagine having a seizure on stage where everything is there. And I'm just like, makes me scared for him, honestly.
Like, I know he said this in his interview too. We were talking, and I was just so burned out about it. He was like, I know it's hard, but you've got to keep taking care of yourself. And I pulled out but you didn't. And he was like, yeah, you're smarter than me.
Yeah. And one thing I definitely am very grateful that Jinxx mentioned while touring with epilepsy and everything is, one, strobe lights, as we mentioned, is a trigger for people who have epilepsy. Even for me, like, even if it's like, mine is well under control, but even if I was going to stare at flashing lights, that could trigger one for me. That's why hence any bands are playing, head down when they come on. And Very grateful for BVB for having less intense strobe lights for obvious reasons. And
I'm so thankful for their lights this tour.
Nicole, I know that we talked a lot about the epilepsy part here. Did you want to say anything else before we move on?
I feel like, I can't lie, I almost feel weird saying anything just coming from someone who doesn't deal with that. I don't know really what I can say, but I just have to say you all are true warriors. I can't imagine what that is like, and I can't imagine how hard that is for all of you guys, but I just thank you for taking care of yourselves and for being able to work through this despite all of that. I mean, you guys truly are warriors, seriously.
I mean, I think you mentioned to me, Anna, at one point when he just loves that he hears fans and that his story of his epilepsy story reach out to other friends who have epilepsy too and letting them know that, you know, you're not alone with this. This condition doesn't change who you are. No, it doesn't.
I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, but for one of the books I put together for him, I did a whole section that was epilepsy warriors and things that they had to say to him about it. And there were so many people that were like, thank you for speaking out about this and making me feel like I'm not alone and stuff like that. And there were some people too that were like, hey, you're not alone in this. We all love you. And it was just really cool to see that, you know, his story impacted so many people and still does. I still have people send me messages that are like, hey, is there any way you can pass this on? And it's tricky because I don't want to send him messages all the time.
Well, forever it's worth. Thank you, Anna, for doing that, for all the fans who have epilepsy and stuff, to send those wonderful messages to Jinxx. And Jinxx, is, again, thank you for sharing your epilepsy story with us, with the Army, even for people who don't have epilepsy but are now aware of the condition and what it is about it, spread awareness of what is epilepsy, because not every episode and not every person has the same experience when it comes to epilepsy. It's kind of different for everyone. So plus with the medication. So there's that.
I'm just glad that he is doing better now, because last I heard from him, he's been seizure free for I think a couple of years.
Well, moving on. When it comes to Black Veil Brides, Jinxx has definitely put a lot of his talent and skills and his input when it comes to every single album and songs when it comes to Black Veil Brides. I mean, Ritual was one, Savior, especially Savior 2. I think that's where I know we talked about that one, but there's been a lot he has done for Black Veil Brides in the songs. So
both Saviors were really special to him.
I do recall reading about when Savior 2 came out. I can't honestly remember about Savior.
That one was, he had a friend that passed away and he was in Europe, so he wasn't able to attend the service. His words were, sat down with his guitar and noodled around a little bit.
Noodle around.
I love that phrase so much. But yeah, he just said that he sat down and, came up with the, for his part, and put that together, just kind of casually recorded that and held on to it. And then Andy wrote the lyrics, and he was like, perfect. That's exactly what I'm
growing up as a fan of Black Veil Brides, discovered them in high school, but then to celebrate the 10th year anniversary Wretched and Divine album. Yes, 10th year. Oh my God, it's been 10 years since that album. Crazy.
9 years didn't hurt as much as 10 did. 10 makes me feel old. And I'm just a baby.
Wretched and Divine turned 10 years old recently by the time this video is uploaded. I think it was, oh my God, I can't remember on the top. One of the CD album packages came with behind the scenes of them making Wretched and Divine, and there was a lot of couple sections. I remember watching it religiously in high school, that Jinxx was showing us his violin skills, the software he would use, and the overture and how that would work for him. And then just seeing that side of him producing and scoring the Legion of the Black too. I'm just like, this guy is so talented. It's not even funny. What? So, but Jinxx, again, you're so talented. I mean, we said that already, but again, talented. I mean, you scored Legion of the Black for one. I mean, that's huge. And it turned out beautiful.
Oh yeah. And went on to score a movie.
I read that. Yes. It was Escape Room.
Yeah.
I didn't remember And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was like an indie movie.
Was it an indie movie? Okay, because
Yeah.
there's like a lot of escape room movies out there. I'm like, which one was it? So
There were like 2 coming out at that time, and I honestly just had to like message him and be like, I'm sorry for even asking, but there's 2 movies with the same title coming out. Which one is yours? Because I don't want to watch the wrong one.
I quickly found a clip of the scoring from that indie movie, The Escape Room, and I'm like, yep, that's Jinxx. I guess maybe it's just for us listening to the each album and just his talent that is where you can recognize his technique, I guess, or skill when it comes to the violin. So
yeah, and same with guitar. Like I can listen to one of their songs and go, oh, that's his part, that's Jake's part.
Nicole, I don't know if you were able to find anything about his war paint when it comes to Black Soul Bride for him.
Unfortunately not.
I mean, Jinxx, I love your war paint. It's definitely a jester look. Although I will admit, this is my second try doing.
I didn't even
Jinxx,
try. I knew better.
I need to know, Jinxx. Jinxx, I need to know, what magic wand do you have in your mystery briefcase or whatever you bring to do your war paint perfectly symmetrical every
Straight
single time?
lines. It's
Please.
the straight line.
Literally.
Do you do it yourself or do you have someone else? But you do it perfectly every single time, symmetrical and everything. Like I butchered, these ties are not symmetrical, but you know.
Back to his war paint though, I think he said it was inspired by The Crow.
Boom!
I had thoughts on that because when Ruth says jester, and I'm like, I see like the jester with like the eyes, but I was like, I always got Crow vibes, and that's like my favorite movie growing up, and that is why his war paint is my all-time favorite.
Well, and also like the precision that it takes, because like Andy's and Jake's were, and I guess still are, like very complex.
Oh,
but
yeah, those
it doesn't have
I truthfully told, I think Jinxx is the most partisan complex. I know it's very simple, but it's just like the symmetrical of it. I'm sorry, in the perfection of the straight lines. That's just me though.
No, but what I'm saying is like with Andy's and Jake's, like the spikes don't have to be in the same place every time. It's like you have a straight line on each side, and then more straight lines. Like, sir, I have shaky hands.
Nicole, I don't know if you ever attempted it, but there was one time I attempted back in the Set the World on Fire eras, even we touch these eras, where obviously he has this war paint, but the body paints, while those straight lines going down, I don't know how far they went down his chest, but his arms, I tried that once. I call it quits after I got like halfway my chest. I didn't even do the arms. I'm like, I'm done. I'm tired. This looks horrible. It was wonky.
Never tried Jinx's, although I will admit I really want to because I think the body war paint is beautiful, but I just stuck with the messy, you know.
Again, Jinxx, I swear to God, Anna, this is my theory, and I'm still going with this theory when it comes to his body war paint. It's like, again, looks perfect. Precision is there, symmetrical is there, symmetry is there. I'm like, sir, this has to be tattooed on you somehow. I thought it was like duct tape at one point, just how perfect it was.
My theory was, you know, that like, do you remember the commercials for like frog tape? That like that was my theory, was that he just like frog tape.
It was like even that electric tape, but he just found something thick. So, or
no,
white.
my theory is frog tape, and he painted between the lines and then took it off and was like, clean enough.
You know, I never thought of that.
He's always so clean. And like, I mean, sure, when you're doing like the lines like on the face, you can take a Q-tip and like clean it up a bit. Yeah. But like all like the arms and everything, like, I mean, come on. Like if it's on your shoulder, you cannot sit there and like move your shoulder and clean it up, because then the paint.
Yeah. No. And your head can only turn that far to look.
And you guys notice, like, every time, like, the guys would get off stage, everyone's war paint on their face and, like, their body is smeared or, like, it's just smudging. But Jinxx, perfect, hasn't even smudged a bit.
What did you
theory
use?
about that?
Okay, what's your theory?
So, he signed my friend Lyric's guitar. We were like hanging out with him on the bus in 2018. She was like, okay, I have to be super careful with this, make sure it doesn't smudge off. And he goes, oh, hold on. And goes and grabs a can of hairspray and sprayed it on it and goes, that'll keep it there. To this day, it is still there.
So
Still
it's
there. And so
spraying himself in hair.
Sprays himself with all. It's like no, it's like that hairspray you use, Nicole, to tease your hair. The
Be glued.
yeah, that one.
I don't remember. It was like some like blue and black can, and that's all we know. And
Thanks.
we tried to ask him about it the next time we saw him, and he goes, "Dude, I don't remember."
Nicole, do you know what brand is it?
If it's blue and black, the only one I can remember that I used to buy was called Rave. It was literally just called Rave. It was okay.
I don't know,
It was
Jinxx.
kinda cool.
I think Anna may have spilled your secret when it comes to your warp and how it was so just beautiful on your skin and very just like precision and everything. Again, we attempted. Nicole's obviously better because she loves the movie The Crow. Don't get me wrong, I love The Crow too. I just think of Jester. My mind goes to Harley Quinn. So okay. I have to ask them. Sorry, Nicole. We did this with Lonnie. We have to now do this with Jinxx. Okay, when it comes to Harry Potter. Anna, she doesn't know. She hasn't seen any Harry Potter movies, FYI. So I made her.
I couldn't get into Harry Potter. I just couldn't.
It's okay, Anna. I literally made her when I visited her to take the Pottermore quiz. So we know what house she's in. She's a Slytherin, by the way. So. Anyways, I need to know now what house Jinxx is in. Let me guess first because for Lonnie, I guess a Slitherpuff, but then I guess from reading the comments, he's a Ravenclaw. Okay, kind of, I can see that why. Jinxx, okay, I don't see him as a Slytherin. I don't see him as a Gryffindor. It's either between Ravenclaw and a Hufflepuff, but I'm just like, I'm like terrified to get this wrong now. I want to say, just hearing everything now and is reading everything about Jinxx, Ravenclaw.
Oh yeah, no question. I don't know if he's actually taken the test, but the guy is brilliant. Like
he has wisdom.
Yeah,
he's brilliant.
His brain is a sponge. Does he have a photographic memory, by curiosity?
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised now. So Jinxx is a Ravenclaw. Makes sense. He has a very intelligent brain. He absorbs everything, I swear now. So
he's a genius.
He is the next genius here then, ladies and gentlemen. So
nice. He could probably be like in architecture for sure.
Honestly. Yeah, like seriously.
As a musician, he'd want to be a historian, and it makes perfect sense.
I do have a funny like interview that I have to tell you guys about. It's like so I'm going to tell you right now. I don't for the life of me like know the name of the interview or anything like that because I only like saw it in picture form. Okay. But like by far my favorite because I think it was back maybe in like 2012 or 13 maybe. All the guys were getting interviewed and one of the specific questions were who is like the most grossest and smelliest on the bus. Literally every single member said it was Jinxx and they nicknamed him Stinky Bones. And Jinxx then, when they interviewed him, he's like, I'm literally
everybody but me
that takes a shower every day.
So that was Rock Sound. And it like the one where they did them all one-on-one.
Yes.
I think I remembered that now.
Jinxx most definitely has the worst tour hygiene. I don't know anymore. We used to call him Garbage Can Man. He would just go for days without bathing or doing anything. He'd sweat like green and chemicals. And I think now he's a married man now. He's a little bit more put together. But in the old days, he was a bit of a gross Garbage Can Man.
Okay. That would be everybody in the band except for me because I'm the only one who actually showers every day on tour.
The fact that they named him Stinky Bones, I was like,
I forgot about that part.
You know, you gotta have fun in the tour somehow and another. You gotta get nicknames for each other.
Right.
I'm going back. I know, Nicole, you mentioned that interview. I can't believe I almost forgot this. Can we just talk about Jinxx's cameo on the Average Joe series on YouTube?
Yes. Loved it. I forgot about Average Joe. I honestly completely forgot about it, but I think I'm gonna have to go back.
Cameo walking in like Joe's apartment because he hired him to be the violinist for his girlfriend thing coming in.
Yes.
His persona, the character, it was like very precise and like very like focused, and I'm just like,
yeah, getting to know him, like it cracks me up that he was just like so like short and curt about it. You could tell that was exactly the character he was trying to play. Mm-hmm. Like he did it perfectly. That had to be so hard to like just like stay in character. Because if that was me, I would have been like cracking up
but, like,
my own lines.
You remember the bloopers, right? Where they showed bloopers of him like playing the violin, but he just started cracking up because he couldn't focus on that character persona of like that very, I don't even know what's it called. Like, do you I haven't even watched the episode. Do you remember how it went, Nicole?
So I can only remember like bits and pieces. The one part that like stays in my head because it had me cracking up so hard. I can't remember like word for word, but I just remember he's like, I'll have you know, like when I start playing, I leave this world and enter another.
Just so you know, while I play, I exit this world and enter another.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fine. Yeah, we can make that work.
And I just lost it. It was just the stare that he had too. He was so serious, like the character.
Wait, that's an actual Jinxx trait though, because there was a show that like, it was the Lincoln show, like right, the first show back after COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Catherine and Kaylee and Lyric and I went over to say hi to him afterwards. And of course, masks, distance, all that. We were talking like through the fence just to keep everyone safe. My friends were like, oh, hey, Jinxx, we need your help. This idiot thinks she's driving back to Des Moines tonight. And I was like, it's not that far. And if I leave at midnight, I'll get there by 2. And he goes, absolutely not. And of course, like his dad's there too, and goes, that's a terrible idea. So I'm like arguing for him, like, it'll be fine. Like, I'll text you when I get home. Like, I'll send you a message and like, you know, you'll know I'm safe. I'll even keep you on the phone for the whole ride. Like, it'll be fine. And Jinxx looks at me, gives that exact same expression, like literally made it come up in my mind. The exact same expression there, and goes, don't make me have to be pissed at you. That expression is real.
He
I
does
love
have
it.
a definite iconic expression, I swear. Like when he just opens his eyes and does that rock and roll kiss tongue and everything.
Yeah, no, he means it.
Yeah, I think that was like the first time I ever seen that kind of side of Jinxx before. And I was just like, thank you.
I miss that show. I don't think it would even work now just because of like,
I know. We all miss that show. It's an amazing show. Obviously, it's still on YouTube. There's so many iconic phrases from that. Baby vacation. Yes, baby vacation.
That whole episode with him playing the violin, like with Cece just like not knowing how to kitchen.
You gotta preset it, dude. You gotta preset it.
Preheat.
Well, how long does the pre-run? I don't know. You gotta be here. To wrap up this video, we are now gonna talk about our favorite memories when it comes to Jinxx. So Anna, I'm sure this is going to be a tough one for you because you've had multiple interactions and experience with Jinxx, but take your time. You go first.
Do I have to go first?
It's okay. We can go that way. You have time to think. All right, Nicole, who's going first?
This goes.
Does not matter.
I'll go, I guess. Truth be told, I don't have that much interaction when it comes to. I was supposed to meet him when I got this vest at the Oshkosh show, but then COVID happened, unfortunately. He was nice enough to send it over, so thank you again, Jinxx, for doing that. But I guess, I don't know if you would call it, I guess it's a memory. In my book, it is. For one, for him, for reading his epilepsy story, for sure. Just giving me just a very inside and just giving me hope and just letting me, again, reassuring me that you're not alone. Don't think of you differently. You're not different, blah, 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 blah. And just everything that we said in that section. But that was really a special moment for me to read about that. And then the cameo, you got me, Nicole, for my birthday. That motherfucker.
Oh my God. Yes. Anna, I have to tell you, if you did not see that episode, I got her literally, it's like cameos. They have like a week to give it to you. And we were filming on Friday. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Friday. Yeah.
We normally film Saturdays, but we filmed Friday. And no, I ordered it on Friday on payday. And I'm like, okay, he has a week to give it to me. I was like, he'll obviously get it to me in time. Here it is Friday. We're filming, no cameo. I'm like, oh my God, this motherfucker. He did not. I was like, he didn't give me the cameo. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to get a refund or what's going to happen. Literally, right when I got to the surprise part with all the birthday, with everyone wishing her happy birthday, Hudson, my husband, was literally like, he's doing this. And I'm like, trying to stay focused. But I'm like looking at him and he's like pointing. Jinxx had sent it to me the minute I was doing her, sharing the surprise with her. I was like, oh, this is fucking late.
I swear his timing is like,
It was
sorry,
impeccable.
my cat's gone again.
I she was just like, this like, what the is she talking about? Like,
I meant
what
it with love, though.
I know you do. But I was just like, what is she talking? Who is she talking about? What is she talking about? And then when she played it, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
The
Impeccable
cameo
timing.
was super sweet. Like, he was super sweet, and he said hello or happy birthday. I can't remember. He did say my fellow epilepsy warrior and stuff. He thanked me for the notes that I gave him during the Cincinnati show, and again, just kind words from him. But just how it happened, how I saw it, just made me laugh. So again, thank you, Jinxx, for your perfect timing when it came to it. So thank you, Jinxx, for the wonderful kind words in your cameo, also sharing your epilepsy stories. So thank you. And I hope next time in the next tour, whatever this, I can get another best experience to actually meet you and stuff and take a photo with you, because I seen all these photos with fans that you take, and it seems cool. I mean, technically I do have one from the first leg. He joined in with the Jake experience with Lonnie, so I technically do have one. So there's that. Yeah. So all right, Nicole, what is your favorite memory with Jinxx?
So I kind of have two.
Okay, go for it.
My first one is the very first VIP that I had with Black Veil Brides. It was actually for it was a Church of the Wild Ones tour when Wretched and Divine was coming out, and the tour date was literally on Jinx's birthday, and I was so excited because I was like, oh, it's gonna be my first time, meeting all of them, and I'm gonna wish Jinxx a happy birthday. I literally hyped this up, and of course, like, the moment I meet them, that went out of my head. And so unfortunately, I never got to wish him a happy birthday. The reason why it's one of my favorites is because I got to be in between Jinxx and Bruno at that time for the photo. And I remember when they're like, hey, go ahead and go here, I go in between them and I look at Jinxx, and he's just kind of looking down at me. I have this big cheesy smile, and I'm just like, instead of happy birthday, I was like, hi. And he just literally, I think he's very shy because he didn't really say hi. He just kind of had a big grin and like waved. And yeah, so sir, I'm so sorry I did not wish you a happy birthday. I meant to, though. I really wish I did. I just got too nervous. But my second favorite memory, I believe it was, I can't remember which tour that they played Lost It All, but that's a song that I've been waiting to hear live. I don't remember. It was either the Resurrection Tour or the Black Mass. I can't remember which one. Thank you. Perfect. The Resurrection Tour. I have been waiting for Lost It All because one of my favorite instruments is the violin. And just to have Jinxx whip out that violin on stage, and I know he does it with Shadows Die. Like I've seen him do that multiple times.
It's both. He does it for Shadows Rise and Shadow Dies and Lost It All.
Oh, so I did say it correctly.
No,
though.
you did.
Because I haven't seen. See, oh my God, it has been a day. I have a headache. Sorry, I haven't seen Shadows Rise live, but I want to. I know he's done it with Shadows Die before, but just I love Lost It All so much, and that was a song that I have been waiting to hear them play live. So to have him, for them to play that song and to have him come out, and it was his uniform, like, or outfit, whatever, was so cool. The top hat and like the freaking like cape thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And just having him play the violin was just so magical to see. And it truly is because of Jinxx the reason why I wanted to pick up my first instrument. I really wanted to learn the piano and the violin, and my husband, I won't lie. They always say, well, you should have like a starter song, like really easy stuff to learn. But I wanted to jump right into like learning Overture on the violin. And I wanted to learn Lost It All on the piano, which the piano, I didn't have a violin at the time, but I had the piano. So I was able to learn Lost It All. Piano's hard, but it actually wasn't too bad. Now the violin, Jinxx, I'm going to apologize here. I do own a violin, and I was practicing so hard. I tried to learn Overture right away. That was a big mistake. Violin is difficult, and I had to end up going with starter songs. And still to this day, I've had the violin for like 4 years, and I still don't know what I'm doing. And I feel terrible because you're like a huge inspiration to me for even wanting to play the violin. So I'm sorry, sir. I'm trying. I really am. Violin is difficult. I don't have patience for instruments, but that is one of my favorite memories, because to see that up front and in person, was so magical.
We're down to you, Anna. Have you figured out your favorite memory? Maybe top 2, if that helps.
One of them is definitely that Resurrection Tour show when we were like sitting on the bus talking to him, because that, like, hands down, that like changed my life. I have had people in my life who are like, oh, well, it's not that big a deal. You're being dramatic. You're just comfortable being dependent. Da da da, you know? And that's the mindset that I like walked in. And so that was the first time that I had someone who was like, hey, no, you're not being dramatic. You're not like looking for attention. This is a real thing. It's a real struggle. And you're right to want to find help, you know? And so he was like, I've got your back. I'm here for you. And like, you have people who care. So that is still something that, like, now and again, my brother or Lyric will be like, oh, hey, I found this picture that we forgot about. My brother was cleaning out his phone and he goes, oh, I found this one where you guys were laughing so hard that the picture is really bad. But like, that's one of my favorite ones, because
Definitely a core memory for you.
oh yeah. Well, and like, he was saying something about like, oh, well, my mom had me growing up on horses. That's why I ended up bow-legged. And, you know, like, that's just him being hard on himself. But at the same time, he's standing there, he's like, well, you know, and like throwing his hands up in the air, and no part of him is clear in that picture. And I'm laughing so hard about it. And I actually had, like, I posted that once, and a couple of people were like, why would you post this? It's not a good picture. And like, okay, you're right. Like, it's not the best one that we have together, but that one means the world to me.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one. It's a whole big tie.
Oh yeah. And I can't, I'm sure, like, I know, I honestly can't remember now, but again, I am very happy that you have him there to not only help you with your own epilepsy, with all that, but he's become like a brother to you, a part of your family, that it's very awesome to see that. And I'm very happy that you have that. Honestly, it's really cool and amazing. So
he definitely is like family. I don't know like in what way.
Oh, it's
but like definitely is. And like his mom has even said that before. Like she was like, oh, we consider you family. And I was like, okay, that's something my brain needs like 2 to 6 business years to process.
Yeah, no,
it's definitely something I'm thankful for. I think second place would be when like the Wichita show in 2018. We were standing there. It was my friend had gotten his guitar VIP.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, before the show, he's like, hey, like, you know, like I think it was before that he like wrote something on it. He was like, oh, come here, there's something I've been wanting to show you. He turns around and my friend is like, oh, I know what he's doing. I have no idea what he's doing. But he comes back around the corner holding his violin. And he was like, I know you're a violinist and I have been really excited to show this to you. And I can pull up the picture. He literally handed me his violin, like the skull violin, Luther.
I remember seeing that photo. Yeah.
Honest to God, one of the coolest things. And of course, my little nerd brain, like I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is so cool. And I'm like, it's a little bit heavier than a normal violin. And I looked at him and I was like, which strings are on this?
You know, hey,
like,
it happens.
I honestly, like, don't remember which set this is. I took one look at it. I worked in a violin shop for like 4 years-ish in high school and the beginning of college. And I was like, these look like Kaplan Amo. He just kind of looks at me with this, you absolute nerd. Kind of, and then my friend said it out loud and he kind of just nodded. But like getting to see that violin and like talking to him about honestly something that nerdy. But like the fact that he was like, oh, I've been wanting to show this to you, that it was so cool.
That's amazing. Another amazing, I mean, I'm sure you have a lot, but I think those two, yeah, are definitely. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Well, BVB Army, we have finally come to an end to this amazing episode all about Jinxx for his belated birthday. Again, technically filming on his birthday, not uploaded until after his birthday. But we hope you guys enjoy this video and definitely learn some new things. I definitely did, for sure. Thank you, Anna.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing like knowledge on Jinxx. Like that was incredible.
Seriously, like I was not, I mean, I knew I was going to learn things, but the amount of things I did learn, I'm like, whoa.
Right.
Honestly, again, thank you so much for coming on. It was amazing just to have you on and talk to you and get to know you.
Yeah.
Real quick, Anna, where can the BVB fans find you on social media? Oh, nope, not.
Oh, he's in a sassy mood.
Yeah, she said no. Social media. What is my Instagram?
Anna Beck. I don't know. Anna Jinxx. I think it's Anna Jinxx, isn't it?
Anna is Jinxed. And
Yeah.
then period between each word. Other than that, I really don't use much social media.
So just
because
Instagram.
it annoys me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So BVB Army, if you would like to give Anna a follow on her Instagram page, her link will be down in the description. Again, just thank you, Anna, for coming on. Again, I can't emphasize, it was really wonderful to meet you finally and talk to you virtually instead of through texts. So thank you so much. And Jinxx, I hope we got mostly everything. We should got everything correct in this video.
Can't wait for the message that's like, nice try.
We hope you had a wonderful birthday. I mean, I'm sure you're spending it with your family, but we hope you had a wonderful birthday. I believe you're still in the UK, so we hope you are having a wonderful time over there.
I have no idea.
We're assuming if you're back in the United States without us knowing, cool. So
Enjoy the jet lag.
we are excited to see you back on the road here soon with new upcoming tours. So, but again, thank you so much. Next week, we have a new episode coming up, and BVB Army, get ready for that. I'm so excited for that episode. Because it's birthday month for a certain album. I know that album has passed and that birthday has passed, but it's time for Nicole and I to officially dive into that album. Cannot wait for it.
We have been waiting so long to dive into this album, you guys, since last year.
There will be tears, happy tears. You can find all of our social media links down below in the description below. Please subscribe to our channel. Go give us a follow on our Twitter account. We are now on TikTok. Please go give our TikTok and also follow there too. And I can't remember what else, but I think that's everything. Nicole, any last words?
Last words? Happy birthday, Jinxx!
Happy birthday! We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.